Hello, welcome. My name is Rebecca. If you're new here, welcome to Monday Mastery, where I take an intuitive read on the energies that we are currently experiencing, kind of take a peek back at this last week, and then get some guidance on how to move forward. There's a smidge of a little bit of solar weather update, since we are all about working with the nervous system and understanding how to drive this beautiful vessel that we have been gifted. It has been a beautiful week, and I have lots to share with you, which I'm really excited about. Plenty of activity from a solar weather perspective. I will just mention too, this is a timeless message, so bear with me for the minute or two that we referenced this past week, and then you can enjoy the timeless guidance that is appropriate for you whenever you find this. The week started off relatively calm from a solar weather perspective. Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, we had just a handful of C flares, and yet it felt big. People call it the unmeasurables. There was no evidence of activity as far as Schumann or solar weather, but there was a lot of energetic processing and receiving happening. Then we got hit with a really big X-class solar flare on Thursday, a 3.33. And what's really interesting is the synchronicities with the numbers in the solar flares this week. It was fun. Friday, we were followed by an M-class flare that was a 1.1 that came in at 3:33 a.m. So synchronicities abound. I don't know about you. Let me know, comment below. Have you been seeing new numbers or more numbers? I know my numbers have completely changed in the last month or so, and that's exciting. That's sending the message that things are shifting and changing. We're in a new energy. We're stepping into a whole new world, and we'll get into that in a second. We had another X-class solar flare on Saturday, a 1.8, followed almost immediately by a 9.5. I also want to back up to the X-class solar flare on Thursday. That was an hour long, which is unheard of. That is very, very very long sustained duration is how they say it. So then to have that extremely large, not extremely large, it's a big one. The biggest X-class solar flare we've ever seen is a 40, an X40, which was the Carrington event. So an X3 is still pretty big. But then again, on Saturday to have an X 1.8 almost immediately followed by an M 9.5, which is 0.5 away from being an X-class solar flare. So basically a double X-class solar flare event on Saturday. I don't know about you, but man, I felt it coming in. Even the Thursday one, the big 3.33, felt it the night before anything registered. So if you're solar weather sensitive, if you're highly attuned to your body and you're sensitive in general, these things can bring about sleeplessness, aggravation, fatigue, body aches, nausea. It can disturb your sleep. So if you start to feel something unusual, it seems to come out of nowhere and you can't quite put your finger on why, it very well could be some of this solar weather. We moved into Sunday, was relatively calm. Monday, we started to experience the effects of those solar flares. So when you get a big X-class or M-class solar flare like that, there essentially the light travels very quickly at the speed of light. And so we register that on the devices, and yet the mass of the coronal mass ejection has not yet impacted the Earth. And so it can take up to 2 to 3 days for us to physically receive the rest of that energy. And so we're in that a bit today. Last I checked, it was a G1 KP5. More synchronicities. We had another M-class solar flare today, and it was at 1444 time-wise. So the 144 is a big number, as we all know. So I thought that was beautiful, and I'd like to share that. So like I said, the week started off pretty calm, pretty chill. It felt like that. It feels like last Monday was like a year ago, which is interesting to feel like it's almost like two worlds walking, or you've got 1 foot in the old world, 1 foot in the new world, or even just the time dilation is so strange. Wanting to be in new spaces, to have new routines, a lot of internal processing and letting go of old ways of being, allowing the old ways to fall away, whether or not that's a state of being, whether it's an emotional home that you have, a thought process, a lot of internal, just sort of navigating is the word that wants to come through. Navigating sort of the intricate tunnels of, why do I do this? Do I have to do this? And the beliefs around what keep me in it, and what is it going to take to let go of it? And if I do let go of it, how do I want to adjust it? What is that going to look like? What is the new way of being going to consist of? And kind of trying on, well, maybe this or maybe that, or feeling into, okay, I know I've let this go, but what do I want this new way of being to look like? And so kind of feeling through that and getting familiar with this new state or this new way of living almost. It requires a lot of trust. It requires a lot of surrender. It's beautiful when you do let go. For some reason, I'm getting the image of a person holding on to a tree in rushing water. The river is flowing fast, and because we hold on to the past, something that's not working for us, we get right. We're getting beat up by that flow of the river instead of just letting go and floating down the river. It reminds me of the kids' nursery rhyme, row, row, row your boat gently down the stream. Merrily, 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 life is but a dream. It's a dream when you float. It's not if you're holding on to the rocks or the dead tree that is causing you to get thrashed around, right? We want to start to notice and pay attention to what is choosing us. When you choose what is choosing you, life will be a whole lot easier than trying to grip onto the past or to manipulate or to make something happen in the future. This is what happens when we become heart-led. When you use your conscious awareness and you bring your attention and your focus into your heart, first of all, just taking a couple deep breaths in and out of your heart will create heart coherence. But then from there, that is your portal to the divine. That is your access to the divine in the body. And so feeling into your heart in every decision that you make allows you to get a sense of what is choosing you. And your heart will lead you towards what is choosing you so that you can let go of the things that are not, right? We hold ourselves through the discomfort of letting go. And it is very fun to be in a trauma healer's capacity and to understand the body and the nervous system. When you start to understand it as a tool or a mechanism, it's almost like a device, and we can consciously work with and create states. And so when we know how to hold ourselves, right, when we can read the signals of the nervous system and recognize what is being called for, we can learn to hold ourselves through the difficulty. And oftentimes we self-sabotage or we prevent good from coming into our lives because we are uncomfortable and we don't know how to hold ourselves through that. When God, source, divine creator, is going to handle everything, all you got to do is keep yourself in a state of receiving and allowing, right? So recognize that any coping mechanisms that you might have, especially self-sabotaging ones, drugs, alcohol, sex addiction, things of that nature, sometimes even shopping, right? Where we're hurting ourselves by spending too much. I will raise my hand and say, I go to the grocery store too often. I'm noticing this. I'm managing money more carefully and really looking at every intricate detail. And I'm like, why do I go to the grocery store like 5 days a week? It's pretty crazy. So we really want to look at our coping mechanisms, right? Going to the store to buy a kombucha, it's a fun thing to do. I give myself a little bit of a treat. But we want to recognize that any type of coping mechanism or addiction is an extreme need for comfort. That is a signal from the nervous system. When we compulsively are driven towards this thing that makes us feel better, it's okay. We don't want to feel shame or guilt around it. There's no problem. It's just a message. It's a feedback loop that says to us, hey, you're in need of something. And it's the holding yourself. I love personally chamomile tea, also my perfectly imperfect cup, which is perfectly imperfect. As you know, you are perfectly imperfect for your purpose. There's nothing wrong with you. These are all just feedback mechanisms to help us see where we're at and what we need to shift and adjust. So notice if you reach for the glass of wine, or you reach for the candy, or you reach for the app to go shopping, just notice that's just a feedback loop that says, hey, I need to hold myself right now. Things like chamomile tea, hot baths, feet on the ground, get a massage, call a friend. Loving connection is the highest state of the nervous system. So reach out for support. Come reach out to me. Do whatever you need to do to support yourself, to comfort yourself in a healthy, resourceful way, so that you can let go of control, so that you can surrender to the divine, allowing what is trying to come in to come in. This is the best news of all, because something amazing is trying to come in. It is not just for me. This is a collective thing. This is a global thing. This is for all living beings on planet Earth. The world is shifting and changing, and it's going to be beautiful. And I don't know about you, but there is a palpable sense that this new world, this new life is just right around the corner. I can sense it. I can feel it in my body. People will tell you when you're trying to manifest something that you need to visualize it and you need to feel as if, and you really have to apply effort to get yourself in that state of being. That is not how it is right now. Likely you can sense and almost state with absolute certainty what is coming in. And it's not because you're forcing it or manipulating it or creating it. It's happening all on its own. Right? So our job is to get out of the way so that we can allow it to come in. Monitor your nervous system. Notice the difference between your gripping and your tensing and your controlling and your bracing and you're preparing for the next negative thing that you think is going to come your way, and recognize that as an activated state of the nervous system that is very blocking, masculine, and resistant. We must open to receive. Drop your shoulders. For a second, do this with me. Tense all of your muscles in your body, right? Your feet, your legs, your buttocks, your stomach, your shoulders, your face, and then let it all go. And then tense again. And then let it all go. And every time you do that, you're going to notice more and more release. And that starts to create a sense of awareness of how tight are you? How often are you walking around holding and bracing against life? Or how relaxed, how open, how regulated, how heart coherent are you? Because the opposite of activation is rest, digest, healing, growth, repair, essentially the loving connection state of your nervous system. That is the feminine, magnetic, allowing, receptive. So you've got to start to notice if you are bracing against life because something beautiful is trying to come in right now, but you have to trust, you have to let go, and you have to surrender, right? You've got to let go to let it move through you. Being still requires trust. I know that's hard, right? But get into the body and uncover the root issues of what is it that's keeping you from trusting? What is it that's keeping you from surrendering? What do you fear? And move towards the fear. Don't move the way fear moves you, but you move towards the fear so that you can move through it. And start with the one question, probably the most important question there is: do you trust the divine? Do you trust the creator of the universe has a plan for your life? Do you trust that that plan is good? Do you trust that the divine wants to protect you and provide for you and keep you safe, wants you to thrive? Or do you believe that life is hard and God lets me suffer? Because your beliefs are creating your reality. So you really got to get into the body and understand, why am I not able to let go? Am I able to trust? Right? I love Saint Finnegan. He's one of my favorite musicians, artists. He has a song called Surrender. I will link that below for you if you want to check it out. But one of the lyrics in his song is, "Can the universe do better than my dreams?" And it's such a beautiful way of saying, I don't quite trust God, source, creator, divine universe to deliver my dreams. I have to make it happen. It's all up to me. I'm on my own. Right? Maybe people weren't there for you when you were younger, and it seems that they're not there for you now because of that trauma, even though they are, you just are not able to see it. And that will cause you to believe that you can't trust the divine, that you got to make it happen. And so then the response in that lyric is, are you willing to let go to see if maybe the universe can do better than your dream? right? The synchronicities are all around us. Like I said, the numbers have gone crazy. There's a new theme to life. There's a new energy we're stepping into a new life. But the question is, can you receive it? The momentum is picking up. I don't know if you can feel this, but I have this very strong sense that things are about to start moving very quickly in the next couple of weeks, I think, mid to late November. But it's already starting. You can already sense the light at the end of the tunnel. You can already sense that things are getting a little bit easier. Things don't quite feel so hard. Things don't quite feel so heavy. Literally, physically, I can physically feel life is lighter right now, right? So allow yourself to believe it is possible for you. Allow yourself to receive and really get intimately familiar with any doubt that you have, right? I want this thing, but I'd love to be here, but I can't. I want to do this thing, but whatever your buts are, whatever the wall that you have built, right? So notice the expansion, and I'd love to live in my dream location on the beach, but I can't, right? So this is the wall we build. Don't do that anymore. Just say, yeah, that's the desire that God put on my heart, and I believe, therefore I can receive, right? If the divine wants something for you, and someone or something is in the way of that thing, they will be removed. Plain and simple. There is no going against the creator of the universe. So you have nothing to worry about. Let God handle it. It's out of your hands. It's not your job. Stop trying to do God's job, because that will be exhausting. Let go and row your boat gently down the stream. Just flow. Choose what is choosing you. Trust the divine has a good plan for your life, right? God is trying to give you something good. Will you let go of the past? Or another biblical reference here, this has been coming up so frequently. The woman who Lot's wife turned back. The whole family, I think it was a handful of people, were saved from the city that was in deep evil and chaos. And so God said, get out of there and don't look back. And if you look back, you will be turned into a pillar of salt. And Lot's wife looked back and she turned to a pillar of salt. I get a really strong sense that if you try to cling to the past, if you try to hold on to what was, if you're in resistance to what is trying to come in, you are looking back. And whatever turning to salt looks like for you in your life, it won't be pretty. It won't be good. So no looking back, no clinging to old thought habits, old behaviors and patterns, old people, places, or things, whatever it is for you. Declare your commitment verbally out loud to say, thy will be done. Let the divine lead, right? Look at your stories. Look at all the reasons why you tell yourself you have to or you can't. Heal the traumas that keep you stuck there, because literally your stagnancy is in the body, in the traumas, in the shadows. You don't want to keep living the same day over and over like Groundhog Day. It's time for something new, right? Adjust your attitude. I will also be the first to admit, complex trauma gives you a bad attitude. It makes you whiny, makes you fussy. It makes you complain a lot. It makes you only see problems. It makes you anticipate the poor or the negative in people instead of seeing the good that is out there. And so I say this with love, even though it sounds a little harsh. Check your attitude. If you're feeling resentful or pissy about life, nothing ever works for me and everybody else gets all their stuff. It's your attitude that is the problem. I'm sorry. I love you, but you got to get in there and heal that stuff because it's keeping you there and nobody can do it for you. So again, I'm a trauma healer. You want help? Stuff's below, right? Let go of grudges, let go of resentment, let go of people who hurt you, forgive for you. And it reminds me of the phrase that Jesus said, forgive them, for they know not what they do. They have no idea. It's not about you. It's not about you. A lot of times we think, oh, that person was mean. They're a bad person. They want me to suffer. They're not thinking about you. Sorry. You're just not that important. Again, I love you. I'm feeling a little sassy today. But it's really not about you. They're doing what they think they need to do to survive and keep themselves safe. Their focus is on themselves. And unfortunately, they don't care who gets hurt in their wake. They should, but we can't fix them. But if it's hurting you, it's because you're allowing it to hurt you. So we got to stop that. All right. So forgive, let go. Just really trust the divine. Trust the divine. Be still. So in your stillness, that is holding yourself through the discomfort of all the chaos and the changes that are happening around you, keeping yourself in that magnetic feminine state that is allowing and receiving. Trust the divine wants good for you. Choose what is choosing you. Follow your heart. Believe the divine will handle the rest, right? And remember, what stands in the way will be removed. So you don't have to worry about it. If you are tuning into your heart and you are looking for guidance on every next right step, you will do what needs to be done and the divine will handle the rest. And that's it. Period. End of story. There's no stopping what's coming. There is no stopping what's coming. I guarantee you it is about to get really, really good. So open to receive. And if you need help, you know where to find me. I love you, my friends. Make sure you check out the free masterclass training link below. Otherwise, jump into the course so that you can come join us in the community, heal your traumas, and step into the life of your dreams. Yeah, it starts with trauma healing, but really it's about becoming limitless and expansive and stepping into the beautiful gift of the dream that the divine put on your heart to lead you towards your purpose, which is thriving because you are perfectly imperfect for your purpose. I love you so much. You matter. You are very valuable, and I'm proud of you for all the work you've done so far. Sending love, my friends. Namaste.